Welcome again, and thank you for joining the Infosim Global Webinar Day. Our topic today is news from the industry, Infosim at TM Forum Live and Cisco Live US. My name is Dietmar Kneidl, Director of Sales Europe with Infosim, and I will be your moderator. Joining us from our headquarter office here in Würzburg, Germany is my colleague Dr. Nieke Aerts. One of our research and development consultants. Nieke has completed her doctoral thesis in the field of graph drawing and has since then worked on improvements for our network visualization here at Infosim. So, good afternoon to you, Nieke, and welcome to the webinar.
Hi, Dietmar. Hi, everybody.
Okay, well, also joining us from our headquarter office is my colleague Benedikt Pfaff, who is also a research and development consultant and who also works in pre-sales. I forgot to mention this in our first session. Benedikt has worked as a student assistant at the chair of communication networks at University of Würzburg for almost 2 years before we were able to convince him to join our ranks. He has a master's degree in computer science. So good afternoon to you, Bene, and welcome to the show.
Yeah, hello Dietmar, and thank you for the introduction.
Well, my pleasure. We're looking forward to what you two have to say, but before we dive into this content, just as usual, a couple of household items. So everybody is muted when joining our audience, just to keep down the background noise. If you have questions, please type them in the questions or chat window of the GoToWebinar application. We will deal with all questions either directly or at the end of today's webinar in the Q&A session. So don't be shy. Let us know if you have a remark or question. Also, as usual, we're recording the event. We're going to send you a quick email tomorrow that includes the link to that recording. And that's all on my list. So I'm going to hand over control to our presenters. And since Nieke is the one who's going to start, Nieke, are you ready?
I am ready.
Perfect. Well, here you go.
Thank you, Dietmar, and welcome again, everybody. As you all know, it's important to stay up to date with trends in networks. One way to do this is to visit different events like conferences or fairs. Today, Bene and I will tell you something about the activities of Infosim in this respect and how you, as an Infosim customer or StableNet user, can benefit from this. We will discuss 2 recent events where Infosim was active and talk about the demos we were showcasing and maybe give a little hint about new things we are working on. Just to get into the topic, let's look at the buzzwords from the 2 events. The events we are talking about are TM Forum Live in Nice and Cisco Live in Las Vegas. In orange, you'll see the buzzwords from TM Forum, and in blue, you see the buzzwords from Cisco. Not unexpectedly, we see NFV and SDN in both blue and orange. And very large, in blue, there is cloud. These are topics that are of interest for quite a number of our customers. And that is one of the reasons why we put a lot of developer resources into this. Also rather large is IPv6 on the far right. In customer projects, we have tested whether StableNet is 100% ready for IPv6. And we saw that whether you want your server to use IPv6 or it's the devices that you want to discover, or if you want to measure IPv6 traffic, well, StableNet can do it. Of course, you can also find the buzzwords IoT and IoE, Internet of Everything, in here. And with the rising of IoT, security is also getting new interest. I mean, how can we maintain a secure communication if the devices do not have the power for real encryption methods? On the top right, we find collaboration and Catalyst. Industry initiatives are popular, and one particular example of this is the Catalyst. So I guess this is the time that I hand over to Bene, who will tell you more about the TM Forum Live event and the so-called Catalyst project.
Yeah, thank you, Nieke, and again, hi to everyone. I will also say a few words about what the TM Forum actually is. So yeah, the TM Forum is a non-profit organization that drives collaboration and collective problem solving to maximize the business success. The TM Forum provides best practices and standards for both business support and operational support systems. The forum hosts many different events throughout the year and all over the world. There's actually one event in Vancouver by the end of this year, and there's one in Singapore as well as in Lisbon. But the event I will discuss and we from Infosim visited is the TM Forum Live in Nice. This event addresses the hottest topics from industry, reaching from network orchestration and automation to Internet of Everything, data analytics and SDN. Yeah, one specifically interesting part of the TM Forum events are the catalysts. A catalyst is kind of a proof of concept project which unites different companies as partners to solve challenges which are presented by the so-called champions. The solutions of the different partners collaborate using the TM Forum open APIs. These APIs can be seen as some kind of catalyst between the different solutions and project participants. Infosim participated into 2 catalysts this year and also a separate demo with Intel, and we also had our own booth at TM Forum Live. So we had a lot of work for our colleagues at Nice. So why actually did Infosim participate in the catalyst? Yeah, this is a good question, and there are multiple reasons. The reasons reach from an accelerated research and development, which is some kind of speeded prototyping, up to possible new formed business relationships, and of course new sales opportunities. And last but not least, we want also to show that Infosim can tackle the challenge of a catalyst. Yeah, so I will go to the first catalyst now. Yeah, this is the first catalyst we made this year, and this one is all about the quality of experience for video conferencing. So what we thought about, we thought about something like, wouldn't it be great if your service provider would give you a discount in case your connection or your network does not perform as it should be, or on the other hand, your service provider gives you the opportunity or the offer to upgrade your video service in case your network is capable of. So abstract saying, it's kind of finding the balance between the network usage and the quality of experience. So yeah, that's what we addressed with this catalyst. And actually it's a cooperation between the champion Verizon, the and the 3 participants, which are Redmi, Vipro, and we from Infosim. Yeah, our main role at this catalyst is the resource layer. You can imagine, like it is displayed here, there's a video conference going on, and our software StableNet gathers our predefined key performance indicators, which are measurements for packet loss, jitter, latency, the load, and so on for this special video conference call. And then, based on this information, we give them to the analysis tool, which is run by Vipro, our partner. And this this analysis tool then gives the result to the billing engine. And based on the analysis done on the KPIs, we can tell something about this video call. We can tell, for example, that the quality was really poor, and then we can automatically provide a compensation for the bad experience the video callers had. And on the other side, in case the network performed really good, and we can see that based on the KPIs and the analysis, then we can provide the user with the offer to upgrade the quality. For example, the video call is held in HD ready, and the network performs really good. Then we may upgrade it to a full HD call. And yeah, this is everything about this balance between the network usage and the experience of the user. Yeah, then there's the second catalyst. This catalyst is all about smart manufacturing, or in Industry 4.0. And this catalyst is actually in phase 2, which means it's extending an already existing one. And the catalyst for phase 2 took place in 2016, and we won an award with it, which is really nice. And the champions last year were TWI and Enterprise Web. This year, 2 new champions joined the party, which are Telecom Italia and the British Telecom Group. And also we have a new participant for this catalyst, which is Infosim. Infosys, I'm sorry. Yeah, the first catalyst in phase 1 was all about the robots as a service. It was we used StableNet in this catalyst for the monitoring of the robots, which were distributed over different factories all over the globe. You can see that on the slide on the left-hand side. There are multiple factories, each with a handful of different robots, which display their health status by the color of the squares. Yeah, this year we went a step further and we said, okay, let's develop kind of a logical factory ecosystem where where the task of Infosim is a so-called resource-facing manager of managers, which aggregates actually the data from the IoT domain and the telco domain. So we are giving with our software a holistic picture of everything. This is what you see on the right picture. There is the map of the British Islands, and you can see different factories, each having a handful of robots, and again the health status can be seen. And also we have this telco domain, which is British Telecom and Telecom Italia. And with StableNet we provide kind of a sliced view on the logical factory, giving different views for different users. For example, a factory owner, a customer, or the telco owner. Yeah, that was the second catalyst, and we actually won another award for this catalyst, which is also really nice. And this year the Catalyst Award was for an outstanding ecosystem designed using Curate.fx. And in case if you want to know more about this Catalyst, then you should register for the next webinar, which is on the July the 27th, during which all participants and champions you can see on this slide, as well as someone from TM Forum will be speaking. So in case you have any questions, feel free to join the next webinar and ask all of them. Yeah, then I'm going over to the last point from my side. That's the technical partnership with Intel. At the TM Forum Live Intel booth, we got to demonstrate that StableNet can also make use of Intel IoT gateway solutions to help manage and secure connected IoT sensors. Therefore, StableNet software agents were installed on each IoT gateway, and StableNet is then also able to discover, configure and monitor all gateways as well as connected sensors and devices. This solution is highly scalable because the processing is offloaded to multiple devices which are running StableNet agents rather than being centralized on a single device, which could of course easily become a bottleneck. Further, the demo shows how StableNet is able to manage and monitor an SDN controller, which is in this case an Honors SDN controller, and a cloud environment, which is in this case an Amazon Web Service cloud. The screenshots in the upper center of the figure show the different parts of the StableNet UI, which are used, which show the demonstrator. Yeah, currently the demo is still running in our lab, so if you're interested in more information, you can visit the proof of concept part of our Infosim webpage, or have a look at one of the webinars about this POC. Otherwise, I would encourage you to just send a mail to Christopher Kalkov or Peter Mössbauer, and they are really into this demo and can answer you every question you are interested in. Yeah, so thank you for your courtesy. Now I will hand over again to Nieke, and she will tell you more about another recent event. So yeah, that's from my side.
Thank you, Bene. Yeah, I will talk about the Cisco Live in Las Vegas, which is actually still going today. The difference between Cisco Live and the TM Forum event is that in TM Forum you get more of like an overview, and in at Cisco Live it's more going in depth. Oh, I wanted to go here. This is actually our team at the booth. I'm sorry, I forgot to change the slide. Yeah, so as I said, Cisco Live is more about in-depth, so you can do a lot of learning at this conference, and you can actually plan your exams in the end so that you can get new Cisco qualifications. I guess a lot of people are doing that, and when I say a lot, actually it's a lot, because I think at Cisco Live there's approximately like 28,000 people, which is a lot more than in TM Forum. At the event in Nice there were maybe like 3,000 people, so it's really, really huge. Another difference between them is that there's no real demo or POC area in the Cisco Live. It's not like the catalyst for the TM Forum, but what they do have is the world of solutions. And on their website, they say, the world of solutions is the energetic core of Cisco Live, where you'll have the chance to learn about the latest innovation from Cisco and our partners. So of course, we as Infosim, we have a booth there, and you see all the people, all my colleagues standing there right now. Well, not right now, probably. Yeah, so they walked around and they looked around at this world of solutions, and they saw two very interesting things. So the first thing is 3D and virtual reality. There's actually some kind of showcasing with virtual reality there, where you can put on some 3D glasses and you can look into someone's data center, which is pretty cool. Actually, we at Infosim are also starting with 3D, so we also have a running project right now that starts some 3D visualizations. Just keep in touch with us to know more about that later. The other thing that they found was that a lot of companies are trying to use this voice recognition idea. So I actually already saw a video on YouTube where some guy was using Alexa to set up his network. So he was just speaking to this box and somehow his computer was doing stuff for him. So if you don't know Alexa, it's just kind of an intelligent personal assistant, and it has really nice APIs to integrate its voice capabilities to any of your software. Also at Infosim, we are working on this. So what I'm going to tell you about today actually is I will tell you something about StableNet 8 news features, because these are the things that we are showcasing at Cisco Live. So the first thing here we see is tagging and grouping. And maybe you've seen already the StableNet 8 webinars, but if you haven't, I will quickly remind you what tagging is. Basically, with tagging, you can just label your object. So you can basically, a tag is just like a category and a value, and you label your object with this category and this value. So for example, you can have a category location on all of your devices, and your value can, for example, be Würzburg. And this is very convenient if you, for example, are looking at your StableNet and you want to just filter your inventory tree very quickly and you want to only see the devices that are located in Würzburg, then you just filter on your tag category is location and the value is Würzburg. Okay, this works very nicely. If you want to know more about this, you should definitely look at one of the webinars given by David or Vlad about StableNet 8. Okay, the second thing we see here is unified service visualization. So I will immediately go to the image. So on the left side, you kind of see a hierarchical view on your service. So you can imagine if you have your services that are layered by the OC model, so you have some in the data layer, some in the application layer, and so on, then you can have this hierarchical view on it. So now in StableNet, if you have your services organized like that, you can basically have this top layer and you can one by one open all the layers below until you reach your fiber, as long as this information is available. Okay, we also improved our weather maps. We actually have a new library for the weather maps, and with that you get some new fancy layouts and you can actually put tables in your weather maps. We've also extended the dashboards and have some new widgets. And there is some extra support for VMware and ESX. So again, if you want more information about the new features of StableNet 8, you should really look at one of those webinars. Okay, the second thing I want to talk about, I want to come back to the buzzwords that I used in the beginning, like SDN, NFV, IoT. So as Beno was already telling you, we showcase quite a lot of compatibility with that. For the IoT, we have seen that in the first phase of this logical factory catalyst, we were monitoring the robots with StableNet. And in the Intel demo, we were showing that we could monitor the Intel IoT gateways and the sensors that were connected to that. Also in the Intel demo, we've shown that there is some SDN controller that can be monitored by StableNet. We actually have shown this for Open Daylight and for ONOS. And there was also the Amazon Web Service Cloud. Okay, but as you may know, these things like OpenStack, they change so quickly right now. Like every half a year, there's a new version of OpenStack coming out, and they are not always backwards compatible. So to make sure that we can actually do something, we need to have something in our lab, and we should test it. So let's talk about that for OpenStack. So right now we have an OpenStack Okada installation in our lab. So Okada came out in February this year, and I think it's the newest one, and in October the next one will come out. So having this OpenStack instance in our lab, we can immediately read the config data with StableNet. So we can find like the IP addresses, the maybe the memory and stuff like this. But to gather actually some measurement data, we need to have an application called Ceilometer installed. So Ceilometer is just an application that collects data that is produced by OpenStack instances. And as soon as we have this installed, then we can actually obtain the status, the memory usage, the CPU usage, the disk read and write data. So the image that you see below is actually already one from StableNet. So this is our instance that is running in our lab, and you can see, well, it's not doing so much most of the time, but there's some peak at like 5:30 in the morning. I'm pretty sure that no one in the office was doing something with it, so it must have been an automated update. And there's another peak just before 9, and this was actually some of my colleagues were installing some updates on this OpenStack installation. Within different ongoing research projects, we are always extending our capabilities. And currently we have several running projects concerning SDN and clouds and other hot topics. So please feel free to ask us for more information on any of these topics, and be sure to keep an eye out on our blog, because I think there will be more blogs about the research projects coming soon. Okay, so what's next? Of course, there's always a next event that we are attending. Okay. Well, actually, the first event that I'm talking about is one that we're hosting, not one that we're attending. So on July 27th, as Beno already told you, there will be the webinar about the logical factory. There will be the 8 participants. Well, actually, there will be 8 people speaking, so it should be a real party. They come from the different companies. And yeah, you should definitely register and hear this out. Then in August, there is a conference in Los Angeles. It's called SICOM, and Bene is going there to present, together with some other people, to present a demo that we have set up within a research project. So this research project is called Sardina, and it focuses on network security based on SDN. And this demo in particular focuses on reducing the attack vectors by separating each user into its own private network, which might be useful when you have things like WannaCry going around. So if you have any questions about that, you have to ask Bena, you can send him an email, or of course you can go to SICOM and see the demo for yourself and ask them questions. The next thing on the agenda is in September in Vancouver, the TM Forum Action Week. This TM Forum Action Week is actually not the same as the TM Forum Live event in Nice, but it's more like the preparation event for that. So in this event, there will actually be champions explaining their ideas for a catalyst, and then groups will be formed of companies that work on catalysts together. And then the catalyst should be made ready for the next event, for example, the TM Forum in Focus event in Dallas in November. So there's one thing left on the list, that's SDN NFV World Congress in The Hague in October. And there are actually many things that are probably going to happen there, and Infosim is involved, but none of these is 100% sure yet, so I cannot promise you anything, but you should just come and see and you'll find us there. All right, this was, I guess, all that Bene and I prepared for today. I thank you very much for your attention, and Dietmar, the floor is yours again.
Thank you very much. There's two things that, well, caught my attention on that webinar in July. Not all participants are going to speak at the same time. So it's 8 participants, but they're not going to speak simultaneously. So, but it's still going to be a big party. I guess you're right with that. And something you forgot to mention, because I know it's not in your nature to praise yourself, but if you're interested in that new visualization features of StableNet, you can always directly address Nieke. I've put Bene's and Niike's email address in the chat, because it's all her work. She's responsible. If you find a bug, contact her too. Okay, this is
thanks for that.
Yeah, this is probably going to get me in trouble afterwards. All right. Well, in the meantime, I've uploaded our 2 handouts for today's session. This is, for once, the slides of the webinar that we've used today. And I've also uploaded the Intel Infosim solution brief. So feel free to download those 2. And I have collected a number of questions during the webinar. Actually, there's questions coming in right now. So let me just pick up the ones that I thought might be of real interest for everybody. So Bene, the first one is going probably in your direction, because it's a question about the Catalyst logical factory. And one of our attendees wanted to know if there's going to be like a 3rd phase planned for like 2018. Do you know anything about that? Because I don't.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Actually, we are really open for that, of course, but there's nothing really decided yet. So I think it's better if you answer this question at the webinar on the next time, and July 27th, I think. And yeah, then all participants will be there and can answer that.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure to add that to the to-do list for the next Global Webinar Day. Not a bad idea. The second question goes, I think it's for Nieke. Since you talked about OpenStack, what can we say about SDN controllers? Can we discover them? Do we have measurements for them in pedo? I mean, does StableNet recognize all of these SDN controllers, or what's the status about these?
So we have shown already, I think, that we can monitor at least Open Daylight and ONOS, but of course there's loads of controllers out there. But given that they provide any sort of interface like a REST API that we can communicate with, then yes, we can.
Okay, cool. Very much interesting for people who, well, work in this area or are, dealing with SDN controllers. And there is a question that's actually pretty much for both of you. One of our attendees wants to know if we are planning to join European Research and Development Project within EURISCOM, especially in the area of IoT, security, etc., etc. Do we know anything about EURISCOM?
Actually, I have not heard about EURISCOM. I know we are in some other European project, but this is from Celtic, supervised by Celtic. Okay. But I have not heard about this other one.
Okay.
But well, I would be interested, so maybe I could get a link or something.
Yeah, I will forward the question. This is this was asked from one of our partners. I just get an update. Celtic is the same. That's what he says. But don't worry. I know who you are, and I'll forward your comment to Nieke so she can can discuss that with you. We're always interested, so if you have suggestions for us, this is actually, I mean, this webinar has talked about, we talked about a lot about exhibitions and research projects, but we're always interested. I mean, we're not going there just because they're exhibitions, and we're not doing research just for the research itself. We're doing this for customers and partners. So as soon as you have feedback, as soon as you have something that you might consider being funky or freaky or, you know, futuristic, that's the stuff we're interested in. That's the stuff that keeps Nieke and Bene going. So and David, of course. Let's not forget David. So he's not here, so he might get jealous if he hears the recording. Okay, final question. We've already reached our time limit, so let me quickly throw in a final question. Obviously, one of our attendees has one of those Intel gateways, and he heard you say, Bene, that you just throw a StableNet agent on it. Is that what you do, or do you need like a specific agent customized for those gateways?
Yeah, thank you for the question again. No, you don't need any special agent. It's just a normal Linux agent installer, and it works out of the box on the Intel gateways. Yeah.
Okay, so it's that easy. It's nothing fancy for us. It's just another. Okay, good. Another.
Yeah, it's not easy, yeah.
Another agent. Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I guess that's all regarding the questions. We do have more web sessions on other StableNet related topics. You probably know that. So if you have a specific question, contact us. We're happy to help. We have added a new section to our resource slide. It's on the right-hand side, second from top. It's our proof of concept. We've added this to our resources section on the website. There's more information about our Intel POC and about other catalysts we've done so far. If you are interested in videos and statements from CEOs and fancy pictures, this is the place to go. All right, well, that's all we have for you today. So thank you very much, Nieke. Thank you very much, Bene, for the session. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. As usual, you will get the quick email tomorrow with the recording, and we're, of course, going to keep the session open a few more minutes in case anyone has an additional question he wanted to ask. Joe, feel free to type those in. And again, final remark, Global Webinar Day, July 27th, Logical Factory, the TM 2017 Catalyst. In case you're not on our Global Webinar Day invitation list, throw us an email at newsletter@infosim.net and we will help you with that. That's all from us. Thanks for joining. Any final remarks from my two presenters here?
Have a good day, everyone.
Yeah, nothing from my side. So yeah, thanks and bye.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.